Welcome to Insert Title Here, the only podcast to take 8 months to get out a 2-minute long video. Why the fuck did it take me so long to get out a 2-minute long video? It's not like it was a difficult video to make. It wasn't hard at all. It was just a couple of jokes about Yu-Gi-Oh! But no, here I am, fucking 8 months later. Should have been done like 3 months ago. Anyway, hi, I'm Devon Wavio.
Are you good, Devon?
No!
Did you speak to somebody?
No!
Why not?
Sure.
No! Someone else to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Adam, Technical Gate Mix. I apologize for nothing. YouTube.com/Technical Gate Mix. Flyer, after you.
Hi, I'm Funny Skeleton. I don't know.
You stream. You got to let me stream.
Oh, that's right. I do stream on the Twitch.
On the Twitch.tv.
Yep.
Oh dear. That leaves Xander.
What's up? I'm Alexander Mogus. I split myself into 14 different people to handle all the different tasks necessary for this podcast, but unfortunately it's taken psychological damage, and instead of being 14 copies of me, they are all now 14 distinct personalities when they're not inhabiting this one body. And help me, oh God, help me, dear God. I'm going to die. I'm going to split into an atom, Morty.
So does that mean you're a nuclear explosion?
Sure.
Because that's how you split the atom, you go boom.
Just a nuke goes off and just like in the middle of fucking like wherever Xander lives, and just we see a cloud in the far off distance. Like, oh,
And all I just hear is Xander's voice just singing, "I'm nuclear, I'm wild." No.
that Discord ate that. Thank you.
Oh, well, the recording didn't, so everyone gets to hear me intentionally badly singing Mike Oldfield's Nuclear, aka the song from one of the
He's
Metal Gear
wild.
Solid 5 trailers.
Breaking up inside.
Yeah, the heart of broken glass inside. Deep
You're
inside.
a Bell's
the abandoned
looking
child.
fucker.
I've drank an entire 2-liter of Diet Coke today, so apologies in advance for whenever I inevitably delve into some unhinged fucking manic rant about something completely unrelated to whatever we were talking about previously.
Diet Coke makes this man fucking loopy.
Oh,
Really?
Makes him
no.
go.
Diet
I haven't-
Coke is a thing.
God
that
help
makes
you.
Well, I haven't been drinking caffeine for like a while,
That-
so that's like 230-ish fucking milligrams of caffeine all at once injected directly into my veins. You know, it's gonna do
Not
something.
injected directly into your veins. It's got a lot of work to go through to get to there.
You don't know the anatomy of somebody who's been bored by the Spinosaurus flyer.
Fucking hell.
Have you
The
never
Spinosaurus.
watched any of the previous episodes of this fucking podcast? Did you just walk in here completely blind to the
Yes.
ongoing lore and mythos? Okay.
Unironically, yes.
To very quickly sum it up so that way you're no longer confused, and I mean very quickly. I used to be an entity that existed in the weed dimension.
Mhm.
I was made of weed, but also smoked weed, and the universe was made of weed, and I had a
Right.
wife also made of weed, and I was
Yeah.
like the king of weed. Then the
Yeah.
Spinosaurus, a giant Spinosaurus that vores things, entrenched itself into my universe and vored me. Within the
Okay, hold-
Spinosaurus,
Hold on a minute. That's just being a carnivore. What do you mean divorce things? That's just how animals eat.
I'm explaining why it's vor instead of
Okay.
Yeah. So the Spinosaurus, when you get eaten, he contains like a universal gate inside there, and he
What?
transfers you to another universe instead of like digest you, which is why he's constantly voring things, because he can't be satisfied. His stomach is never full, it's always empty. But when you pass through that gate, you're reborn instead of just being like your body transferred. And so I was born as a baby in a 7-Eleven in Florida in 1993. In the freezer specifically. So I had to be pulled out by what became my parents when they go, "Oh, there's just a fucking free baby in this freezer." And eventually I grew into the thing you all see before you now.
There's
And that's
also
the
the little.
that's the lore.
There's one little bit Xander forgot to do, and that's the voice of the Spinosaurus. It has a very distinct voice. You'll know when you hear it. Very friendly.
We're at episode 53, and I am
I remember it.
increasingly more and more stupid day by day.
It was like, "Hey guys, what have I bought you guys? You want her?"
Oh yeah. Okay.
See, this is how this podcast works. I'm just here to enable Xander.
Yeah. So that's the gist of it.
It's a very friendly Spinosaurus. That said, you just don't get between it and its interdimensional battle with the Council of Davids because, yeah,
It's not even like it's not even actively antagonizing them, and vice versa. They just happen to constantly be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Spinosaurus isn't like, it doesn't have intent behind it, right? It just is. It's a force of nature.
Yeah.
It's like a hurricane, except it's always hungry.
It's like the inedible bulk, but worse. Which
What was
my
that
screen
one
name
where
when
the
I'm
guy
talking
was
about
purple?
The inedible bulk.
Okay, cool. We're thinking of the same movie. I love that movie. I
What
hate
do you
dust.
mean movie? Wasn't that like a fucking Dexter's Laboratory bit?
It was, yeah. They never copyrighted the name though, so someone used it for a movie. It was also my screen name in Unreal Tournament '99 back when I was a wee lad.
My Kingdom for Unreal Tournament. Holy shit!
Dude. If you need the disc, I have it, and it still
No,
works
I just
on Windows
want to.
10.
I want to goddamn play that again.
I have it. Next time you're in my area, I'll let you borrow my discs because I have the 2-disc version, which comes with the
I
the
don't
game
have
of the
a
edition.
fucking disk drive.
What do you?
The fuck
live
has
in one
a
of the
disk
biggest
drive
cities.
in 2020 year?
Me,
Current year.
motherfucker! Me! I have a Blu-ray drive on this thing because I'm not a fucking Philistine. What if I,
I know
want to
you
watch
look
something?
like one.
What if I want to rip a CD? What if I get a CD full of like high quality audio samples? I just want to rip it, which happens a lot actually. Welcome to YouTube Live.
What if I've got a bandage on that needs to be replaced, and I just want to rip it?
Well, then just rip it and replace
Or
the
whip
bandage.
it.
What if I have a can of soda, and I have gripped it, and I want to open it up, and I just want to drink the contents inside?
Then clip it.
No, you grip it and rip it, you dumb fuck! You ruined it. I hate you.
This has been Insert Title here.
Yeah, no.
My name is Devon. Go follow the things. Go do the things.
Check that off the
Bye.
list of episode jokes we need to make.
Well, we haven't mentioned.
Coke. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we haven't invoked the name of our Lord and Savior David Michael Draymond yet, so we're not quite there yet for all the jokes.
Stop calling him that. Stop calling him our Lord and Savior. I fucking
None
hate
of
that
us
guy.
worship him. You keep saying these things.
You,
Wait, no, you're
you've got
getting
to let
confused.
David Draymond come up organically, because he always comes up organically. When you force
Organically.
it like this, it's just not funny.
So you're forcing it like you're forcing his shit. Which
Much-
is, very much like David Michael Draymond.
There you go. Oh, dear. Hey, another news. It's almost the week of Halloween. You guys got any plans or anything coming up?
No.
No, I have no plans for Halloween.
You ready for the trick or treat?
Aside from like finishing streaming Haunting Grounds, that's it.
Fair enough. You started streaming the other day, and Devon was doing that on original PlayStation hardware as well, the original game itself. How has that been? I know you mentioned you played it before, but how's it been?
Yeah,
everything?
so it's like still a really solid game, all things considered. It's got the same like Resident Evil formula of being a fixed camera angle game, but like they fixed the way that the controls work on a fixed camera angle, and the character will move in the direction that you're moving the joystick, regardless of the way that they're facing. So like if they're facing forward, right, and I want to move backwards, they don't just walk backwards; they will do a full turnaround and run backwards. So it's better than playing the OG like Resident Evil stuff like that.
Yeah.
I may have actually made the game more difficult for myself, as I was just like, oh, let me check out these costumes real quick, because I didn't look at the costumes last time I played, and I gave Huey the German Shepherd costume, which apparently gives him more damage, but he's hard to control. Didn't know that. And then Fiona has a couple other costumes where she can actually do better attacks and fight back, except her titties and ass are usually out, or she's wearing a weird like fetish outfit. Like she was wearing like a cowgirl outfit on one of them, but she had a 6-shooter, and then she was wearing like a dominatrix outfit, and she had like a bull crop or something like that, a riding crop that she would hit enemies with. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to not have that on my character.
Yeah.
I will just play the game as like normally as intended. Because like the entire point of Haunting Ground, if you guys don't know, and I'll finish the game hopefully by the time this episode comes out, is that it's a horror game based on like the fears of being like being a woman, like the fears that women face, being like, it's like shit like being objectified, being other women being like shitty to you because on the aspect that you are just another woman, or you have something they don't have. It's also like the fear of sexual assault, stuff like that, pregnancy scares, stuff like that. It's just a weird all around really fucking anxiety riddled video game. It's made to make you feel uncomfortable. So having a bunch of sexy outfits in that game doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Japan, what the fuck? Anyway, but aside from that, though, it's a really good game. Highly recommended if you can play it. If you have to emulate it, I totally understand, because it is a fairly expensive PlayStation 2 game.
I was actually seeing that GameStop Retros have been selling it for like $200. If you find it, that's like under half the current market value. So grab that bitch.
I wish I was a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems like it would be fun.
Live your dreams, bud. Live your dreams.
What if I told you that you could be one?
See, I can't be because I don't feel like one. I don't identify as one.
Oh, well, then you can't be one.
Exactly. So I wish I could have the experience of being a woman. However, due to the way my brain perceives itself and whatever the fuck gender is, can't be.
I just want to have titties, so I can just do this all the time.
You can just have that normally.
I would never get anything done because I would just always be playing with my own tits.
Yeah, but if you start now, by the time like you got some fucking bold naturals on you, fucking
big naturals, Gandalf.
Fucking by the time you got them Gandalfiddies on you, fucking you'll be successful enough where you can afford to sit there and just play with them.
Or you could just get fat and do it that way.
I don't want to get fat.
Why did
Quick, someone say something. We've gone into silent for too long.
What did Xander's
edit out the silence.
What did Xander's like thing there sound like a 401k spiel? It sounds like you start now, you have Gandalf iddies. It sounded like someone talking about my 401k. Like if you start now, you have $1 million by the time you retire in your 401k. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm just saying, you know, if you constantly strive for the life you want, eventually you'll have the big cities that you always wanted. Editor, edit out that burp.
Editor, keep that in.
Editor, keep it in, but call him Morty.
And then since you strove to thitties, right? Since you strove for the thitties, you also got the fitties. And with the fitties comes the time to play with your titties.
Fair enough. I guess on slightly different Halloween topics, horror stuff. I watched that Terrifier film recently. The first one with Art the Clown, the black and white clown.
About.
Oh, it was a independent horror film released about, the first one was released about 7 years ago now.
Sorry, I don't watch independent art films. I only watch Marvel movies.
Same. The last movie I saw was Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's gonna be the last movie I see until Captain America, whatever this one was called.
What you guys can't understand now is there's, besides an awkward silence, a very pained expression on my face, even though I know these two shitheads are joking with me right now.
No, the last movie I did watch in theaters was Deadpool and Wolverine, Adam. I only watch MCU movies.
Actually, the last movie I watched was Back to the Future, too.
Hold on, what kind of expression was it? Yeah. Can you give it to us again? He refuses to give it to us again.
So, yeah, I watched Terrifier. For those who are probably familiar, they've probably seen this Art the Clown character pop around because it seems to be the mascot of Spirit Halloween this year. Clown in black and white with some pretty gnarly teeth, and certain appearances has him like wearing like sunglasses which were made out of sunflowers. I watched it just because I'd heard good things about it for a slasher film. What I will say was it was a very fun watch. If you are squeamish, it is not for you. That said, if you are a bit of a gorehound, like you appreciate, you definitely enjoy like a good kill in a slasher film, this is one for you. Because the reason I watched it though was just I was looking for something to watch when I was working the other day, because at the grocery store as a produce manager, you have a lot of downtime, and I was just looking for something to put on for background noise, and so I watched this thing because I'd heard so much about it over the years, and I was like, oh, this is what people are getting mad about. This is what people are getting up in arms about, because I remember hearing about it a few years ago because somebody flipped their lid on film Twitter because they got mad that one of the more infamous kills from the film was a woman, and the film was misogynistic and yada yada. The usual. I have a letterbox count, and I think my opinions are good diatribe, basically. And yeah, so I watched it and I was like, yeah, cool. If you like Nightmare on Elm Street, this one's for you. If you prefer your horror films a little more psychological, then I would recommend something else. Yeah,
like Killer Sofa.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was a great film, sorry.
The only good horror movie is Alien.
It's not true.
It's a sci-fi movie?
You're a sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi horror, technically, that's both. It's a haunted house film in space. It's great. There's more good horror films than Alien, though, bud. Lots more.
Nope, because
Like
only
Devon.
one of them has the alien in it.
That's
Show
not
you.
true.
Yeah, but
Aliens
it's-
has a whole bunch.
That
yeah,
was an
and Alien
action
3.
movie.
Alien 3 is a whole bunch of
Alien
aliens in it.
3?
Alien 3 fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
This has been
It's
insert
true, it
title
does.
here. I'm about to go on a plane to Washington and strangle this guy. I don't
I'm
mind Alien 3.
replacing my state with Reptar, even though we've said multiple fucking times where I live, just because I think it'll be funny.
Alien Resurrection sucks. I'll give you that one though. Alien Resurrection is so fucking bad.
I rewatched Resurrection like before I got out of the void.
Yeah.
Awful movie, absolutely awful, but fucking hilarious. Like I sat there fucking entertained the whole fucking time. Oh, I also speaking of random segue, not really a horror movie either. Not at all a horror movie. I don't even know why I said that. Fucking so people keep trying to convince me. YouTubers keep trying to convince me that fucking Daredevil's director's cut is actually a good movie and is like true to Daredevil. So I'm just like, okay, I'll give this a shot.
Well, like the
But the Ben Affleck film.
Yeah, the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
2003.
huh?
Yeah, so I finally watched the director's cut before I moved out of the void, and it is just as awful, if not slightly more awful than the fucking like the normal version. But it was the most consistently fucking entertaining movie I had watched in fucking months at that point. And fucking like I watched it like it was like 1 or 2 in the morning when everybody was asleep in the house I was living in. So I kept having to fucking cover my mouth as I'm fucking laughing and I'm like trying to control myself. And it's just so fucking funny. And fucking Elektra's death is even funnier in this one. And fucking Bullseye is actually my favorite fucking character in that movie. Fucking Bullseye points at his fucking forehead.
Bullseye?
Like
Bullseye.
that's him the whole movie. And oh god, I love it. It's an awful movie, but I can finally say that I would consider Daredevil in my list of like so bad it's good to me movies now. Like it's not good in the way those YouTubers try to convince me it was, but goddamn if I didn't fucking really enjoy myself. It's like
Colin Farrell,
2.5 hours long. I was like, damn, I didn't know they made movies this fucking long back then.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's the same sort of era as the Lord of the Rings films, right? They fucking hell. How long was the actual cuts again? Like 4 hours each?
I would never ever watch the extended cut of the Lord of the Rings films. I do not have that kind of fucking time.
Yeah, because it's funny you say that because I did watch the extended cuts with the wife a couple of weekends ago, and it was really fun. And it's really fun to watch because those films are actually
Isn't that like 15 hours?
12 hours, give or take.
I have a controversial opinion on that. I think the theatrical cut of the Lord of the Rings films are better than the extended edition. They just work so much fucking better in the context of movies, and I would just prefer to watch those because a lot of the scenes that they re-added in those special editions, they felt cut from those movies for a reason to me.
Yeah, what about my favorite
don't
part?
know.
The dwarves go over the waterfall in the barrels.
That's not Lord of the Rings, it's the Hobbit.
It is.
It's Hobbit. I can't
That's the
fucking
Hobbit.
stand the Hobbit movies.
I've never seen them.
I've
never seen them.
You know what's funny? My dad, one time in my fucking life I'm ever gonna say this. My dad was kind of cool when he read the Hobbit books to me growing up before the Lord of the Rings movies came out. So I had context for this shit, and I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed the first Hobbit book. I mean, it was one book anyway. And then like the voice my dad did for Smeagol was like the voice they chose to do in the movies. Like just like that whole voice and shit. Like my
Yeah.
dad was doing that. And I was like, what the fuck, Dad? You did what the fuck? I was like, I was so shocked. Because he's just like, I don't know, I just picked the voice I thought would fit that character. I'm just like, what the fuck, Dad? What the fuck?
Editor, put a filter over Devon's voice when he's voicing his dad and make his dad sound like he's underwater for some reason.
Sure, why not? My dad's in water. Anyway.
The in-water ending for Devon's dad. Oh, sorry.
I don't think they listen to this or care or even understand that reference, but anyway.
I don't understand that reference either. I just wanted to make it sound like he's underwater. Like, not drowning, but like, you know, like sound transmitted underwater, you know?
Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really... I didn't even watch the other two Hobbit films because the entire idea of breaking up that book into 3 movies to me was so stupid. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
It was supposed to be one at the beginning. Was it Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be directing it, and then he couldn't do it, and then Peter Jackson did it, and it became 3 films.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. Guillermo, whatever his name is.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, man of the bull.
Guillermo del Toro.
Okay. Yes, Father.
Jesus Christ.
No, Adam,
I'm bad with the Spanish.
Say it one more time.
I'm bad with the Spanish. Don't pick on me. I can do French, but I can't do Spanish. It's been an ongoing joke my entire life.
Well, okay, I'm making fun of you because you also do the same thing with Japanese words.
To be fair, Devon does it with French words, and I pick on Devon for French words all the fucking time.
French isn't a real fucking language.
France isn't a real place. Everyone who's been there's hallucinating. We know.
True. It's just a big strange hole in the middle of Europe.
Not to mention fucking Overwatch, but Overwatch joke here. So there's a bit where if you play as Widowmaker, the French character on the New York map, she goes, she's like, she says something like, "This is nothing. It's like France, nothing but the rats and the tall buildings here." I'm just like, girly pop. Are you fucking sure about that? Because I've seen some of the rats in France. Are you fucking talking about?
Pull up that goddamn video.
Well, that is, to be fair, that is Paris, and Paris is its own fucking beast, you know?
Yeah. But she's talking about how it's just like, it's much cleaner. There's no rats around there. I'm just like, what a bet? So fucking dumb.
Paris is.
There's literally an entire film about how Paris has rats that cook. I don't know what to tell you.
The award-winning documentary.
Some of them are people.
Speaking of someone who spent a fair bit of time in France, Paris is like its own fucking monster. The rest of France is pretty chill. Paris is horrible.
Before we go on this tangent, I'd like to go back to initially what we're talking about, this whole movie thing.
Before we start on xenophobia, let's keep it on topic.
Let's keep it on topic and just make fun of shitty movies or movies we just didn't care about. Like, I just don't understand why they had to break up the Hobbit book, which is not a really long book, into fucking 3 movies. It's so stupid.
Listen, we needed to re-add the scene of the Goblin King singing. That's why we had to make the extended cut.
Wasn't it? I remember it was twofold. One of it, Xander's right, was money. 2, it was wasn't it like they tried to cut out as little as possible this time because they were criticised so heavily for what they cut out of Lord of the Rings films. They just did everything. They threw it all together.
If you do everything, of course you're gonna have a long ass, stupid ass fucking movie.
Yeah, there was way more to those movies than everything. There was a whole fucking new ass, never happened before. Where the fuck did you come up with this shit in those movies?
Yeah, why was there the romance subplot? I don't remember then.
Why is there the stupid fucking tree guy? The tree wizard. I want to punch the tree wizard so hard in the face he turns into a stack of
wizard.
I hate the tree wizard. Get the fuck out of here, tree wizard.
Bunny sled.
The Green Wizard was in the book.
Not the whole fucking we're fighting Sauron before Sauron's even fucking in the goddamn narrative thing. That was fucking wholesale fucking made up. That whole fucking interaction with the 3 Gandalf, tree wizard, and I think elf bitch fighting fucking Sauron. That never existed.
Elf bitch.
That
was Saruman, not Sauron, right?
Saruman.
Is that from the Silmarillion or is that from something else?
The Silmarillion isn't real. It can't hurt you.
Oh, okay. We're at that point.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm just bitching because I liked the book as a kid. I liked the book growing up, and then like they made a movie. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'll go watch it. And then they fucking were like, oh, it's gonna be a trilogy. I'm just like, oh my fucking god.
Isn't there a game as well based on The Hobbit that came out at the time of Lord of the Rings films? That
Yeah, really Lego The Hobbit.
No, an actual like game called The Hobbit. I remember being on
Lego The Hobbit.
Lego The Hobbit, the movie, the game?
Yes.
No, like The Hobbit.
Yes.
It was just called
It's just
The
The
Hobbit.
Hobbit. I don't know. I never played the Lord of the Rings games. I
played the Third Age one. That was really good.
The fucking Twin Towers, Two Towers, and fucking
No, they were twins.
Where?
Another dragon has hit the tower.
Hey, I'm trying to fight fucking Sauron over here, this piece of shit. He's fucking coming over here, been doing some bullshit. Fuck this guy.
The millennial slip there from Xander.
Those fucking the EA action RPG fucking Twin Towers and fucking Return of the King. I did it again, goddammit. And Return of the King fucking video games where you play as like Aragorn, Gimli, and fucking Legolas
Yeah, those
and
games
all
are
that
tight
shit.
as fuck.
Yeah, I love those fucking things. Fucking the first game I ever played online was the PS2 version of Return of the King. And anytime people didn't let me be Aragorn, I'd rage quit. Fuck you, I'm Aragorn.
Yeah, but you're forgetting something. The fucking the Fellowship game, which was you playing as Frodo. Remember that one? That had nothing to do with those two games, but it came out at roughly the same time.
Wasn't there also a Lord of the Rings game on Super Nintendo?
There's a Lord of the Rings game on DOS.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
There's a Lord of the Rings game on everything, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm, you know.
Lord of the Rings has been around for a long ass
if you know
time.
I know that. Like, it was written in what, the 50s?
Give or take.
Yeah. I know that. I'm just like, in terms of like video games, I feel there's a lot more than people realize, particularly for the main three books, because I feel like there's an RPG on Super Nintendo. I want to say it's rare.
You might be thinking of Game Boy.
No, I feel like it's on Super Nintendo. I think it's just called The Lord of the Rings.
Is it the one by LJN?
I don't think it's by LJN. I don't think it's LJN. I want to say. Hang on, I'm looking this up now. Super Nintendo.
I feel like I've seen an angry video game nerd on a Lord of the
Rings.
Rings LJN game.
Yeah, no, okay. It's Lord of the Rings. It was published by Interplay. Came out in 1994. Lord of the Rings Volume 1, and they never released a sequel.
Is that the one where you play as Dildo and Pam?
No, you're playing as all the different hobbits. You can switch between them in the gameplay. Basically, it follows the first book or so from the Hobbit's POV.
So yeah, Dildo and Pam.
Fucking idiot. Sure.
Never played it.
Yeah, I just remember being a thing. I've never played it myself. I'm just trying to think of like Lord of the Rings material before, the Peter Jackson films. Because of course there's also the animated version.
Yeah, those are tight.
I say animated. Is it Bakshi?
There was a Bakshi and there was Rankin Bass.
Can I just say, 'cause now now that I've actually seen a bit of it, because I've never watched the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings film, and I probably should. I would like to, but I saw a scene from it yesterday on Blue Sky. Someone did the scene where Frodo offers to give the ring to, I think Elrond is her name. I think is her name, right? The elf queen.
Yeah. She fucking goes nuclear.
Yeah, but she doesn't go as like psychotic as she does in the original movie, and that scared me as a kid. But watching that one was not as scary, and I liked it a little bit more. If that makes sense.
In the book. She starts having like visions of doom and shit. Like she full on goes psycho bitch.
I thought that was Galadriel.
Thank you, Galadriel.
Yeah, thank you. That's right. Thank you. I don't know my characters very well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
I have a reproduction of the One Ring and the fucking Ring of Barahir over there. So I'm the target audience of this discussion.
Fucking dork.
Wasn't there a thing with the One Ring, like one of the ones they used on set, like one got given to what's his name, the actor who played Frodo, fucking
Elijah Wood.
Thank you, Elijah Wood. One got taken home by Peter Jackson, another one got stolen or something like that.
It's almost.
They're still out there, maybe.
Speaking of the
if you
One
possess
Ring,
the One Ring,
right?
Don't write in
to me.
And then of course it's the magic card.
Go to your nearest volcano and get.
I was talking about the magic card. Yeah, it's very cool that they actually made a One Ring card.
Yeah.
And it's literally it's like they made one of it, and somebody in fucking Canada pulled it, and it's like worth like a metric fuckload.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Post Malone bought it from them for $2.6 million.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it made Wizards of the Coast realize how much money they can make with this stupid shit, and now the whole Magic the Gathering thing is becoming a multiverse thing, just like everything else.
Yeah.
The Fortnite-ification.
I like the art though. That's the thing. Like I hate that I like the art because like they're right now they're going to be doing a Final Fantasy collab, and there's some really good art on it. I'm like, oh.
Did you see the issues with the Sephiroth art?
No, what was the issues with the Sephiroth art?
What do you think I'm gonna say?
AI generated.
Fucking AI generated.
Yeah, there's a lot of hallucinations on it.
God fucking damn
Nothing
it.
confirmed yet, but yeah, I was looking at that yesterday. Doesn't even look like Sephiroth.
Oh dear.
There's no fish, man. Fucked up.
Yeah, and I can see both Wizards and Square Enix being like, yeah, this is fine, because both of them are like, yeah, I like this shit.
Well, also Square. Speaking of
yeah,
Square,
that's really fucking weird looking.
The extra
Should be a link to
buckles,
it?
the missing fucking details, the katana disappearing into the handle. The fact that it doesn't look like the City of the Ancients at all, or the Temple of the Ancients. It's just a random fucking cave. The jawline and shit not even being remotely close. Sorry, I have autism for the
It's so
people at home, so
frustrating.
this is just shit that flashes in my head.
No, I get it.
Common
Now I'm
affliction.
looking at the other pieces, like I'm hoping that they're not also AI art, but like it says like this. It's Wang Ji Li is the artist, so I mean, like I don't know. Let me just Google and see. 63 artworks.
And the Alan Smithy of Magic the Gathering is here.
I'm trying to find this as a Sephiroth card for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
Jimmy, oh, there, Game Rant. Okay.
I'm actually really frustrated if that is the case. I really. But they're the senior concept artists at WB Games, but like I don't know.
WB's also signaled support for that shit.
Oh god.
Most
damn it.
companies are like, yeah, all in on this shit.
I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. Maybe we're just like maybe it just looks odd, but like fucking
Yeah, this could
But if
totally
we
be a
see-
case of like the over analytical eye like immediately seeing like flaws in artwork that may not necessarily like reflect the character it's supposed to be because the person drawing it may not necessarily be that familiar with the character and shit, and it could be like misconstruing that. But on the other hand, especially when the artist is considered somebody so high up in like an actual company and shit, you would expect them to have like the attention to detail and to at least look at a fucking reference to make sure like it matches the basic design.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be hard to go onto Google and type in Sephiroth Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You say this, but we're in this point now where we have to be overly analytical, looking at everything that's presented to us. We have to double check to make sure it's not AI nonsense, because welcome to living on the internet in 2024. Sadly,
Yeah, unfortunately.
like
They choose
we
to
are
be
not a political.
believable.
We are not a political podcast, but I will double check every image you see before mindlessly hitting retweet on Twitter, particularly if you're a politician. But
Just
we
get
don't
off
think
Twitter.
that
That's
you
even
might-
better.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm out.
I
of
can't.
it.
I need to
haven't
harvest
on-
images.
Go to Image.
I'm on Blue Sky now. It's way better now.
No,
Blue
they're
Sky's
not on
interesting.
image boards.
They end up
I will
on
say
their
Blue
own.
Sky's interesting. It's when I had Blue Sky for the first year, it was just like, okay, it's here, it's a thing. Now it's like, oh, there's actually people on here now.
Yeah, I'm like consistently waking up to 10 plus notifications every day. I'm like, what the fuck?
Fucked up.
I got 15 on my video after I posted that it was finally finished.
I'll post a take on something. So on Blue Sky, I'm trying to be a little more unhinged the way I used to be on Twitter, a little more free flowing, a little more less guarded, because I feel the on Twitter to be very guarded. And people are interacting and not being complete shitheads. It's great. I actually did the thing I kind of joked about. I've alluded to a while ago that I have a list of things I will never do a video on. And yeah, positive responses to it, weirdly enough, because usually when you talk about those things, people get weirdly emotional. They get like, how dare you not want to talk about fucking Yeek?
Yeah.
And no,
because
someone was like, no, I understand.
you're not posting it for the sake of like being a shithead. You're just posting it to be like, yeah, no. It's
How
just
dare
like,
you
this is-
not post about Air Guys Bless the Ring?
I thought something else I can add to that thread as well, but I'll probably add to it later. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's a good place to be right now. That said, will it hold? Who the fuck knows?
Fucked up in a few months.
Oh, it's gonna be inevitably, because the more and more brands that, not to blame it all on the brands, but the more and more brands that come over bring over the more and more, for lack of a better word, normies, and the more and more normies that come in the pool, you know, the worse it's gonna get. Like, I hate using that word, but that's how it kind of is. Twitter was really fun in the beginning for me in like 2012, 2011, because it was basically me and a few other people and Stephen Fry, and now it's oh god, what is it now?
That's definitely what I'm seeing in the future for Blue Sky or some shit, because they just announced that they're gonna do some like premium features where instead of walking behind basic features like Twitter did, it's like you get upgraded like video length and quality and shit like that, and like stupid customization things without like locking out other people being able to customize shit. So that's cool, and I would definitely sign up for something like that where it's just like, here's a couple of bonus features just so that we don't fucking go under.
They also apparently are like looking to like be able to like, you can subscribe to like artists or people on the site as well. I
saw that,
and,
yeah.
Like, and it's just like just to help them out, and I like, okay, I guess. I mean, if you want to do it like that, I mean, that's fine.
This is all well and good, but I have one question about Blue Sky, and I want to know why the dumb motherfuckers that work there decided that the mobile app should not just be like, yeah, no, you could just like not get notifications to do is liking your post. Like, this is basic shit. What are you doing?
You can turn that off. You have to go to the notifications tab. I also don't have the app, so it might work differently. But I know on the website mobile, you go into the notifications tab, and there's a gear in the top right corner, and you can turn off notifications for people who you don't follow. But the other thing I was going to say is that on the flip side of that, they did just have a huge investment by a venture capital firm. So like everything, eventually Blue Sky will succumb to, whether it's advertisers or whether it's the people who end up owning the website because of like investments and shit like that. The website will eventually become just like Twitter and die. And it's always important that you find a new place. Yeah, you need to have some third party way of connecting with all of your friends and shit, because like we're in that age where things are gonna rise, get populated, and die, and you're gonna constantly have to fucking.
It's time to go back to TeamSpeak.
Yeah, Ventrilo servers.
What's the?
I am downloading Hamachi as we speak. It's time for WLAN.
Everybody's going back to fucking Mibit. Let's go.
Time to go back to Parsec.
Well, almost all of like the protocols and shit we use for communications now are all still like built on top of IRC, and fucking realizing that like a couple months ago and shit, like even fucking like Discord and shit, it's still using IRC protocols. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, one of the other things, a hashtag did a server name.
It fucking rocks.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, IRC was one of those things that was, it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Yeah.
God, I hope the person who developed that is living a good life.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not. They didn't get shit from that. It was probably some open protocol that then became fucking closed by some fucking dumbass shit later on whenever they realized they could make money off of it.
Why do rich people have to ruin everything?
Because they want to be cool, but they don't have personality. They only have money.
Oh, because to get that rich requires exploitation, and to be able to exploit people, you have to have the kind of personality and willingness to be able to exploit people.
Yeah,
so
you kind of have to be a psychopath.
Yeah, so once you get to that point, if you're already a psychopath, then you're going to keep doing psychopath shit. It doesn't matter.
It's much easier to pretend to be a human being when you're a psychopath than to pretend to be a psychopath when you're a human being.
Yeah.
Can I put it in simpler terms for the audience to understand? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna make it in a sentence and a half. Because rich people are all cunts, and no one likes a cunt.
I'm going to buy an entire social media website just so you have to respect me, Adam.
Yeah, Xander, I'll still call you a cunt. I call you a cunt every day of the week.
Imagine spending that much money on a free website. What a dumb bitch.
Imagine spending that much money on a free website and then trying to get out of it. Like, that's not a purchase you make, like, while drunk, you know? You're like, oh, yeah, I think I just spent $55 billion.
I am biting my tongue so I can make such a joke right now that'll get me in so much trouble. I see Xander's
Speaking of spending money on things that's
Are you about to segue?
Money on things.
Are you about to segue into exactly what I was going to segue into?
Well, I wasn't going to go into the Nikkei, like how much you spend on Nikkei, but you know what? Now that you brought it up, now speaking of spending money on stupid shit, let's do my favorite segment of the podcast. How much is Xander spent on fucking Nikkei?
What was the last number?
We were at 470 last time, and it's been a week.
Jesus
so everybody,
Christ.
go ahead and take your guesses.
543.12.
600.
Devon.
You're right. What was it again? How much was it?
It was
470?
470 last time, yeah.
$536.
So, Adam, you were 540. Okay, and 600. We're still at 470, baby. I spent $0.00.
Hey! Oh my god! Let's go! The fact we're clapping over something that literally fucking a lot of people do anyway is just sad.
Hey, when you
It's
have
progress.
when you have a dumb brain like mine that's wired up like a little bitch,
Camille, what are you doing?
even your tiniest victories are huge.
True.
Also, I pretty much got all the
fat-ass
pulls I
cat.
needed anyway, so I'm not really feeling the gambling urge anymore. Let's just do the dailies.
My dumb fucking fat cat somehow was in my office the entire time we started recording, and I usually make sure he's not in here. So he's here now.
Hi,
Hello.
Camille.
Yeah, can you show him?
Hello. I am showing him. He's just hard to
Yeah.
see.
He's a black cat.
He's a black cat.
And Devon's in a dark room, so it's a.
It just makes Devon disappear.
hats to the ball.
Oh, there's some floating eyes though.
I just see the eyes. Oh, that little
Elemental void creature.
little
All right, come on,
scramlet.
let's get out of here, bud. Get you out of here.
You cromulent
Oh.
fuck nugget.
Cromulent fuck nugget. Go on.
I
Fucking.
think you're using that word the way it's supposed to be used.
Well, fuck nugget.
No, cromulent.
Cromulent's whatever I say it is.
Anyway.
The English language is mine to control. Did you know that words are actually magic and everything you do is casting a spell? Hi, I'm Alexander Mogus, and I'm going to learn you how to do some magic. Look at
I'm
your
gonna
wife
rip
in the
out your
face.
tongue, and you're gonna learn how important the verbal component is, motherfucker.
Look at your wife in the face. Look at her deeply into her eye holes. You see that?
This is not my beautiful wife.
You see that there is a person behind those eye holes? Now say this. My beautiful darling baby girl of a wife who I have loved since I have met and I am married because I love you and you look very pretty today. And watch as her face lights with life as either she takes the compliment or wonders why you said it so weird and thinks you are a weird mole creature who has taken over her husband. Assuming she doesn't murder
have a
you,
question.
you're not going to have an amazing night. This has been Magic with Alexander
question.
Mogus. Go ahead, question.
What if our viewer has a husband?
Then just replace the
Just
word
replace
wife
wife with
with husband and whatever
But
the
if I don't have
non-binary
a
term.
significant other.
Then replace it with
Partner.
hand.
Speaking of hands, we still haven't answered the question as to what was the first tuber.
That's my favorite.
Oh, the first
bit.
feature bit, the annoying orange.
Is it not just shadow puppets on a wall?
Yes, it's Plato's allegory of the cave.
It's fucking Punch and Judy.
The first stream with chat interaction.
Oh my god.
I believe that to be the first streamer.
Everybody knows that Mark E. Plyer sent himself back in time to around the Jesus era and did the first live stream of the crucifixion in order to kickstart the entire live streaming fucking profession. Mark E. Plyer sacrificed his future for our sins.
Thank you, Mark
Hello, everybody. This is Jesus Christ, and I'm about to get crucified. All right, let's go.
And then he just goes E
The
as he's
first
on the
react-
cross dying.
The first React content was Job.
Is this like a new character in this fucking universe that Xander's made up? We got fucking David Draymond at Spine of Horus and now Mark E. Plyer.
That's just his name. Mark E.
It wasn't that good.
I don't know.
Devon.
I don't know what his middle name stands for. It's like Chuck E. Cheese. I know it's Charles Eugene Cheese, but it can't be Mark Eugene. Oh fuck, it's Mark Eugene Plyer, isn't it?
What do you mean? His name is Mark Iplier.
No, that's the Italian
Is it-
version.
No, his last name is French. He's like half Korean.
His last name is Fishbach or something
That was
like
it.
that.
No,
You're right.
Yeah.
his name is Marcus Eugene Plyer. And
Okay,
I'm not gonna
but hold
fucking hear
on.
any more
Eugene,
slander.
hold on. Eugene doesn't start with
Oh,
an I.
God. Viewers, this is how this universe starts again, so please buckle up. If you have any edibles, I'd recommend doing them now, as Xander explains to you the lore of Mark.
No, you should have done them 20 minutes ago so they could kick in when this shit started.
Editor, make sure to put that. Make sure to put a timestamp earlier on to be high at this point in the video.
You should have done them an hour and a half ago, and then they would have probably been hitting by now.
That's true.
Jesus Christ.
Before listening to the podcast.
I'm not going on a Spinosaurus rant, but his name...
You already went on a Spinosaurus rant!
No, that wasn't a rant. That was a brief explanation of the lore.
Is that not a rant?
No, a rant would be like, motherfucking Spinosaurus came up into my house and was like, hey, why didn't you clean your house before you fucking came in here? And I was like, Spinosaurus, you came to my house uninvited, Spinosaurus. Why you in my house, Spinosaurus?
Did you just say Plotosaurus?
No, I said Spinosaurus multiple times.
I don't know, fucking I heard Plotosaurus. Even worse, just new characters.
Anyway, Marky Flyer, he's my favorite streamer.
Not a streamer.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
He streams on
a
Kick.
YouTuber. No one fucking streams on Kick.
Anyway, where was I? Right, the thing I wanted to segue into, and we were actually talking about this before stream started. The PSP, the DS, the Vita, all the handheld consoles. How did we get started on that conversation?
Vita means life.
We'll make it. Yeah,
no, that's actually how the conversation started, because one of you guys said Vita means life, and then that's when I was like PlayStation Orbis as the thing, and that's how the whole thing spiraled from there.
Yeah, the Orbis. Yeah. No. I think you started on the Orbis, and that you wouldn't buy it if that was the name.
Yeah, but one of you guys said Vita is life first, and that's what triggered me. Remember?
That was me.
So Devon's the trigger word this time.
True, I am. So
Devon's the Manchurian candidate.
We were kind of talking about how like the DS and the PSP, like the PSP was the stronger handheld console. Like,
but it had no fucking games.
I disagree.
They had mini games. They were just all in Japan.
Mini games.
They're all on PS2 as well. That was the problem.
No, they weren't. I'm gonna wait until my turn to say all the things that I love about the PSP.
Motherfucker, gotcha Tora, Amarenbo, Kyoshi, and the fucking two Yakuza spin-offs of Japanese PSP only. Fuck you.
Like, I liked the PSP because, like, so on the PSP, right, I remember had a bunch of PSP games. Mostly Final Fantasy was what I was playing. Like, I get that some of them were ports, but, like, I liked some of the PSP ports of the Final Fantasy games because they were nice to play. There was also, like, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, which is, like, one of my favorite games of all time. The Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which was a blast to play. The Monster Hunter games, which I remember all my friends playing at school. And then there was also, like, you had
Peace Walker.
What was it? Peace Walker, yeah. And then there was also, like, Final Fantasy Dissidia, which was, like, hella fun to play multiplayer. Like, the multiplayer games on the PSP were crazy fun too. Like, the only thing I really got the DS for was, like, Pokemon. And that was it.
But what about Super Mario 64 on the DS?
I didn't fucking care about Super Mario 64 on the DS because I had it on the fucking 64.
Yeah, but you couldn't play that outside.
You couldn't play Super Mario 64 on the bus.
I don't give a fuck about playing those games on the bus. But here's the thing. I also liked, like, the fact that the PSP was, like, really fun to, like, emulate shit on, too. Because, like, you could, like, hack that thing super easy. Yeah. And then, like, just play a bunch of emulated games like the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, Game Boy, all sorts of shit on there. Like the PSP was like a monster machine. On the DS, it's just like, yeah, I got like a hacked R4 cartridge I slapped into my DS and I can play some games. Woo.
The thing was also like so that was about the PS2 games for PSP. I remember when I was growing up, people who had it, the big games they were really playing were the Grand Theft Auto ones, the Liberty City stories and the Vice City stories. Those came out on PS2 shortly thereafter. Was it Loco Roco got a PS3 release as well? Am I thinking of that one?
I love my boy Loco Roco.
Yeah, I remember a whole bunch of them ended up on PS2.
Like Kingdom for Patapon. Bring that shit back.
Patapon.
I just remember like being like, oh, and here's a feature, and it was like, cool, but what about the games that are on it? And everyone was kind of like,
There's a lot of games on. There's even God of War games. Like what? Like the Shadow of Sparta, or wherever the fuck it was.
I thought those also came out on PS2, like after the fact.
I never saw those on PS2.
I feel they've had re-releases since. Like, I feel like a lot of them also came out on PS2.
Well, yeah, that was on like the PS3 though when they had to re-release it.
Yeah, it's the PS3 when they re-released it. Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of them it was kind of like, oh, and then they came out on something else. It was kind of like, yeah, okay. And then the I remember like people really being like, look at what it can do, and then everyone was like, okay. And then when Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, and this is gonna age me, when that game came out, nobody at my school bothered bringing a PSP with them anymore because there was Diamond and Pearl, and it was just like, okay, yeah, because the thing with Pokemon games is not so much anymore, but back then, we're gonna ignore that comment.
It's true.
Pokemon games,
Dragon Quest Monsters is right there.
So your mum. So we.
Oh,
so
she isn't. She's dead.
See, now I feel like an asshole. But whatever.
You are one. Stop making it so easy.
The big thing with Pokemon games, particularly back then, not so much now, was the social aspect of it. People were trading back and forth with their friends. They were doing a lot of stuff in school too. This is 2006. Like, you know, it wasn't as widespread internet culture as it was.
That was high school. I don't remember anybody playing that fucking shit.
I do. I was 14 when that came out. I remember some people playing that when that came out. Hey, maybe different experience, different country, my guy. And the social aspect of that was huge. People were trading. There's, of course, the version exclusives, talking to your friends about it. There's the dropping secrets of it. And then, of course, that was a generation that had Wi-Fi battling as well. Some of that really became a really big thing.
So cable is dead.
Yeah, wireless communication was a huge thing. So, like, I remember that coming out, and then that was it. I never saw anyone really use a PSP again, unless they were using it to emulate. I remember a whole bunch of people emulating stuff on it, but that was really about it after a while. And a bunch of those really annoying kids that play music on, like, loudly on their phones, which is something I'm glad has died.
That has not died. PSP. People listening to music loudly on their phones is everywhere I fucking go here.
I haven't had that. I haven't heard that in years.
Riding a bus is the most insufferable fucking experience because of that shit. You have to have headphones or earbuds in order to fucking like not want to die on the bus.
There might be an out that way thing because I haven't had that issue in the Northeast, but at least not in my part. I don't know how it is for Flyer in the other part of the Northeast.
You can also drive too, so
yeah. Well, I have to take the bus sometimes. I got to get the car service. Got to get back.
Anyway, sorry for going on that rant. Continue your PSP or whatever, and then I'll go.
Yeah. It's just fine. And like when the Vita came out, I remember when the Vita came out, and I think I saw like two people because that came out when I was in. What year did the Vita come out?
2012, 2013.
Yeah, I was in university. It came out, and I remember a bunch of university kids had DSs because Pokemon Black and White 2 was out in my second or third year. I want to say second year. Funnily enough, I used to get Street Passes out the fucking ass of my 3DS. Yeah, I don't really remember having a Vita. Like, I remember seeing it in, like, the cafeteria using a Vita. I remember seeing it in the library sneakily playing on a Vita. I just remember it being just...
I'm fairly certain that Sony sent the Vita out to fail.
I'm pretty convinced they were looking for issues to get out of the handheld market, because to be fair, everyone who's gone up against Nintendo, for one reason or another, has bit the big one. Like, that is Nintendo's domain. I wouldn't, unless you have a really good plan, go anywhere near it, because I think the big thing is, as much as like the last couple of generations of Pokemon has sucked, it is a killer app, and you're guaranteed to get at least one generation per Nintendo handheld, and that's kind of how it ends up going.
Right, but here's the thing: you keep saying you keep going like, oh well, the PSP had no games. It just sounds like the DS had one game, and it was fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, that's all you needed, though. You just needed a killer app, and there wasn't a killer app.
You know what, man? You keep bringing up Pokemon. You're not bringing up Nintendogs. You're not bringing up Brain Age.
God, I was watching a video on Brain Age recently. God, I remember playing that so much as a kid, and then now here I am, stupid as fuck.
No, I just don't really care. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like my DS. I liked having a DS. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was bad, but like, I think I liked the PSP a little bit more because, like, you're saying the social aspect of Pokemon, but just like, I think I had more friends that were playing the PSP when I was in high school, when I was in, going to stuff like that. And I think I knew more people that played the PSP more. Like that. Now, that being said, I had a DS around high school time before I graduated, like right before, because I was broke and someone was gracious enough to give me one, and I got to finally play those DS games. But like, the only DS games I ever got to play were fucking Pokemon, and then it was just like whatever games that my friends recommended to me. Like Xander recommended to me probably the best DS game I've ever played in my life, which was The World Ends With You.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best DS games of all fucking time. Probably one of the best RPGs I've probably played in a long ass time too. And I was just like, wow, There are other games aside from the fucking, Pokemon on this thing. Like, what the fuck, It's just like...
There's a lot of good stuff on the DS. So the Chrono Trigger remake that's really good as well.
But that's the thing. It's just like, that's all anyone ever talks about with the DS, though, is just fucking Pokemon.
Yeah. Pokemon and some Square Enix RPGs, which, to be fair, the Vita, they really tried to put random Square Enix RPGs in there as well. And some Atlas ones, and didn't really work out.
What do you mean? Right. Persona 4 Golden is a definitive version of this fucking thing.
I have no opinion on that. I've never played Persona 4.
That doesn't change that it's a fact.
Persona 4 Golden is the preferred version, honestly, for me to play, because I don't like the PS2 version. I like Golden way more.
Because I just think of, like, I will admit, I just googled the sales figures just to have a look at how. So I know the DS sold the PSP by quite a considerable margin. I didn't realize it was basically 2-1. It was like 150 odd million DSs sold versus 82 million PSPs, which is oof. That's oof territory. But you mentioned having
console designed for babies sells more than console designed for young adults who have jobs and shit to do. Amazing. Who would have thought? Children play video games more than young adults.
I wouldn't really say it was a console made for babies, but okay.
The fucking Nintendo handheld. It is designed for babies.
The launch game was fucking Nintendogs.
Yeah. And then it had a really good port of Resident Evil on it for whatever reason.
My turn.
Go on, Xander. Go on.
Okay. I love both equally. So fucking growing up, my first 4 hyper-focuses in order were dinosaurs, specifically the Tyrannosaurus Rex, because he is the greatest of all time. Fucking dolphins, because they're magic, and I mean, it's a fucking dolphin. Look at that fucking dolphin, man, and tell me it's not fucking magic.
You like the T-Rex because of Jurassic Park. Don't lie to me.
Fucking, I like the T-Rex before Jurassic Park because of this, like, fucking cool little book my mom got me. But then Jurassic Park, when I was, like, fucking a couple years older, like, obviously the only thing I gave a shit about in Jurassic Park for the first, like, 15 years of my life was the T-Rex scenes. So.
No, but the Velociraptor was cool.
I don't fucking care about the Velociraptor, man. Like, yeah, sure, it's cool, but those kids, man, I was fucking, like, I was 3 to 5 years old when I fucking fell in love with Jurassic Park. So obviously the kids were the most annoying aspect of me, to me. I recently rewatched Jurassic Park and it's fucking great now, but it's like, at the time, you gotta remember, I'm a little fucking ass kid. Anyway, after that, fucking dolphins, because dolphins are magical and shit. I used to have, like, these ceramic statues and, like, wind up, like, toys and shit of, like, all these different fucking dolphins. Like, straight up, like, pieces of art of, like, dolphins. And I'm, like, fucking 3 years old. And I'm like, give me that fucking dolphin in that craft store right now. I need that fucking statue that glistens in the sunlight of that fucking dolphin right now, or I'm going to die. And fucking they indulged me. Then it was Dragon Ball Z, because, we've talked about that one on the episode where fucking David Draymond saved us from fucking John's pizza guy. But then right after that was fucking Kingdom Hearts. Fucking pure autism all over Kingdom Hearts, man. So fucking I hyper-focused on Kingdom Hearts so hard that, like, by the time I had any sort of like understanding of what saving money was and, like, how to spend my birthday money and shit, it was constantly in pursuit of making sure I was prepared for the fucking next Kingdom Hearts game. So fucking I got a DS first because they were, like, cheap, like, real fucking cheap, because 358 Days Over 2 was going to come out over that. And I don't remember if that was the official title of it yet by that point, by the time I had a DS, but I knew it was fucking coming, so I had that fucking DS. And it was locked and ready to go. Because I was like, yeah, I get to fucking play as Roxas in the organization. That's going to be cool as shit. It felt like it took them, like, 8 years to release those games, but it was, like, 1 fucking year of me waiting. Just time feels different when you're younger and shit. And fucking, then the other one, Birth by Sleep, was on the PSP. So I was like, all right, I have to get a fucking PSP. So one summer, I forget whatever year it was, but it was before Birth by Sleep had come out and before even fucking 358 Days Over 2 came out. Fucking my parents, they got me the God of War Deep Red fucking PSP with, like, Kratos' face on it and shit. And it came with fucking Chains of Olympus, which is the first PSP God of War game, and Superbad on UMD. And I had not seen Superbad yet, but I really wanted to. And so, like, I actually watched that first. I remember my dad was, like, grilling some shit. It was the summer he decided to, like, pick up all the wood in the yard and just use the wood to grill instead of charcoal. I was like, all right, cool. And, it tasted fine. And, that was cool as shit. So I remember watching that, waiting for him to fucking grill burgers, and she was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I hope when I am in high, or I was already in high school. I hope when I am old enough to have friends who drive and go to parties that fucking I will be able to engage in these shenanigans. And fucking I got up to way worse shit later on in life, but that's not the point of this story. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I got all these different fucking games while I was waiting for that. Like Devon said, The World Ends With You is like it fluctuates, but it's pretty much my favorite game of all time. Xenoblade 3 is constantly fighting The World Ends With You for supremacy there. And I think I'm just going to have to accept the fact that maybe they're just both number one and they just share a spot. And Noah from Xenoblade 3 and Neku from The World Ends With You were just shaking hands in like unison as they team up to do dumb shit. But then there was a whole bunch of other games. There's Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Ring of Fates, which is like a wild ass fucking like spin-off of a spin-off that has like the best story in all the Crystal Chronicles games, in my opinion. There was a fucking Ragnarok Online spin-off that was still called, I think it was just called Ragnarok DS, and I thought it was going to be an online game, but it only had like local multiplayer, and it fucking psyched me out of that one. There was this, I think it was called Tales of Innocence, was on DS. You're like these gods who get reincarnated as like these children, and like everybody's trying to murder you so that way you can't become gods again. And it's like you don't have any memories of this shit, so like you're literally a child fucking there. And like my camera is giving thumbs up when I thumbs up at people.
No way. Xander, do this.
Oh my god.
Xander, give us two. Give us two thumbs up.
Give us 2 thumbs up.
Yeah!
Okay, it's my iPad effects, isn't it?
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. Editor's note, leave that in. It's funny.
I've seen this before.
There's just a bunch of really fucking cool games on DS, and then on PSP there was a fucking Tales of the World Radiant Mythology. It's a Tales of spin-off, but it was actually the first Tales of game I ever fucking played. You have a creative character, and it's like this weird universe that where like every Tales of game got eaten and merged into like one fucking universe, and all the characters throughout the entire like franchise are like fucking interacting with each other, and like some of them become like mentors and shit. You can learn their skills, and it has this original storyline to it. It's pretty cool. The dub is awful, and some of the names of like the main antagonist, I remember his name was like Wittershin. but the gameplay was solid and it was pretty fun. Obviously that God of War game was great, but fucking it all fucking came down to Kingdom Hearts, baby. That's all that fucking mattered to me. And fucking Birth by Sleep rocked, and fucking 358 Days Over 2 rocked, and I vowed to never get rid of either my PSP or my DS. My DS got stolen along with my copy of Animal Crossing Wild World, which I have never gotten another copy of because fucking that just breaks my heart. And to this day, even though I've played other Animal Crossing games, Wild World's still the one that like calls to me, but I cannot let myself ever go back because I put too much work in that village, and I will not go through that trauma again. And then my PSP got stolen by someone who I'm not going to name just in case. So I don't have either of those anymore. I got replacements
David
later
Draymond's done it again.
David Draymond didn't steal my PSP. Fucking, he had nothing to do with that. But I remember fucking
for legal reasons, that is a joke.
With the PSP, like I tried to get so far ahead of when Birth by Sleep would come out, I got into hacking the PSP and shit, just so that way I can make sure that when it came out in Japan, like I would be able to play it immediately and I wouldn't have to wait for the fucking English version and shit. And I would rely on like typing shit into fucking Google Translate along with what very little I could understand of it and shit to try to fucking figure out what was going on in that. And it was fucking wild how much I actually ended up understanding of that story. But the issue with that is that I would come to find out is that Square Enix put an piracy measure into Birth by Sleep, where if it detected it was on the memory stick, it would just kill itself. And it didn't matter what fucking custom firmware you had on it. So I ended up having to, for the first time in my life, import a Japanese copy of a video game just because I needed it fucking immediately. And I wasn't going to fucking like wait. And I ended up with 2 copies of Birth by Sleep, even though I specifically fucking cracked my goddamn PSP so that way I could fucking steal it. But no, I spent like fucking $300 on that fucking game. It's also how I discovered the Phantasy Star series. I hadn't played any of the games before that, but I was on this like forum with this guy Coldbird. He was a developer for a lot of shit, such as like some of the PSP custom firmware stuff. The one service where you can still play PSP games online. I think it's even still up. God, it's wild that I knew him. But I met him on a .hack forum. We were all trying to figure out a way to either bring back the .hack Fragment MMO that was on PS2 or make our own version of it. And fucking at some point he had pivoted over to PSP hacking and shit. And I was like, is there a game where I can wield 2 pistols at the same time? And they're like, well, it's sci-fi, but Phantasy Star Portable and Phantasy Star Portable 2, you can do that. And I was like, fuck yeah. And so I downloaded those games.
Guns with a Z.
I played those motherfuckers. It was so fucking fun. And like, if it wasn't for the PSP and the DS, man, I would still be like exclusively I only play games for the plot. I only play RPGs. I don't fucking care about any of these other things. Like, I'm still a game snob. Like, I don't like Mario and shit like that, like a normal game person should. But like, my gaming fucking horizons expanded greatly, specifically because of the DS and the PSP.
Oh, that's actually a DS game I forgot about. You mentioned there for like this really good
I never played
shooters
it.
on DS.
That's another
Metroid
one I
Prime
never
Hunters
played.
was super fucking good. Jesus Christ.
It had
that
no
was-
right being as good as it was.
Yeah.
Also, if I can take this moment to shout out one particular PSP series that I miss, Rengoku, please come home.
I've never played that one.
I miss you so bad.
It's funny
Damn you,
PSP
Hudson
hacking.
Soft.
Well, Hudson doesn't exist anymore. You gotta ask Konami for that.
I have on multiple every year. I send them a goddamn message about this. And every year they go, wow, that's interesting. We didn't know people were still interested.
Yeah.
That generation was rampant with piracy and hacking, though, wasn't it? Because obviously the DS had its own R4 card.
I mean,
and that
people have
sort
been
of thing, but
hacking shit for
everyone
a
who had a
long ass
PSP
fucking
was
time.
hacking that
I mean, it's
motherfucker
just,
to
It was fucking very easy.
I remember. I just was.
Make it sound like this is new when like shareware was like the origin of this thing.
I guess I thought the age where like I was becoming first aware of that kind of economy of things, because this was like 2005-ish era. I just remember like some kid coming in and like having Windows like XP running on his PSP, or like something that at least looked like it. Don't know if it actually was Windows XP, but it was, yeah, a full-on Windows class operating system. Super weird stuff. And I always remember thinking to myself, like, there are these emulators on there, and I'm just like, you're playing other consoles games instead of games made for this console. What the fuck is this point? But, oh man,
No.
there's some weird shit.
We've never
you know,
actually
there's
owned a
UMDs as
UMD
well.
video.
My God,
I figured
that format
Xander
didn't
would.
last, did it?
Yeah, so
I knew a whole bunch of people who did.
So like I said,
Yeah.
mine came with Super Bad. I also own Cowboy Bebop, the movie, Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, a couple other ones.
School
Yeah,
of
I knew a whole
Rock.
bunch of people owned them. I remember like going on like school like trips, like long trips, was like multiple days away, and people were swapping them, like just to watch random movies on the bus or the train or whatever.
Much better than GBA video.
Oh yeah.
I used to watch like YouTube and shit on it too. There was this one third-party app that allowed you to visit like a bunch of different tube sites. Excuse me. And then you could like download the videos and shit. God, I need to stop saying "and shit" at the end of every fucking sentence, because the last time I edited this fucking podcast, I was like counting how many
a
times
habit.
I ended
You'll
a
work
sentence
on
with
it.
"and shit," and I was
Yeah,
getting
it's real
annoyed by it.
bad.
Yeah, I gotta stop this. So, my fucking,
Drinking game.
Editor, get rid of the and shits.
Yeah, just cut-
put a counter.
just cut it out. Just cut out the "and shits." And shit, and shit, and shit, and shit, and shit. Fuck you, editor. Anyway,
Xander is the editor.
and I let you download a lot of the videos. And I remember I would download a bunch of different fucking music videos, because like that was the easiest way for me to get music at that point in time, because we had shared computers and I wasn't allowed to install like LimeWire and shit until eventually I installed it anyway and just started using it. But
For legal reasons, LimeWire hasn't existed in 20 odd years now, so good luck coming after
Use
Xander. for that.
BearShare or Kazav to learn more.
yeah, there's still a bunch of those. Well, not a bunch. There's still a couple of those services like that around, but like torrents are better, honestly. Like,
Listen, we no longer live in a world where we have to go to websites that end in .ru.
yeah, thank God. Mine will end in .org. But there was also like I used a lot of the like I used it for music too, because I had the headphones with the headset on it that you could use for like the Siphon filter game and shit. God damn it. And fucking I would like listen to that. I had the GPS at one point. That was super neat. I hear it still works. So if you have the,
I can't imagine why it wouldn't.
it's pretty fucking cool that shit still works. So if you still have that, you can, the map information will be out of date. There'll be like a lot of old like businesses that don't exist anymore, but like your placement on the earth and shit will be fine. Yeah.
Too bad roads and infrastructure tend to change after 20 years.
Yeah. And then obviously the PSP was also the gateway into being able to watch porn whenever the fuck I wanted to.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that's the other thing I remember people using PSPs for. Just kids coming in with shitloads of pornography.
I forget who asked.
Just tons of pornography.
I forget who asked me, but like it was a week ago or something. Somebody was like, why does everybody I know, when they start talking about the PSP, inevitably bring up they used to watch so much porn? And I was like, well, I used to watch so much porn.
Because it was fucking easy. And nobody had access to it but you if you were lucky.
That's kind of like the first thing teenage boys do is like if they are given like unrestricted access to the internet, and it's just like and they don't have to worry about anybody else getting their hands on their internet tool, they're going to be looking at pornography. That's just kind of how it goes. I mean,
listen, everyone knows that Maslow's hierarchy of needs goes food, sleep, love, video games, and then at the very top, porn. Okay, you gotta. This is at least it's mandatory.
Why do you always fucking bring up Bible Black?
Joke about this.
Why is it always fucking you?
PSP UMD. That is not a joke. I am serious.
Why are you so obsessed with Bible Black?
And there's
I don't want to know. I don't want to know about the fucking Goth Miku spin-off character, whoever the fuck that person. I don't know.
There is nothing about Bible Black that I have been exposed to that even remotely screams I can masturbate to this. I don't understand people's obsession with this. Was it just that point in time where it was hard to get anything?
It was a point. It was a point in time.
At the time, you know how it is.
You fucking freak.
Okay. There was okay. I can explain this.
Please tell us your obsession with Bible Black.
So this is at the time when it came out, there was not a hentai of that budget available, and there was also a running gag on Newgrounds.
Were you an expert? Were you looking at that time?
Your brother's got hentai in his bookmarks right now.
What are you, the fucking founder of Faku? What are you doing?
Thick arm, thin arm. That's all I'm saying.
He's a bot on Aerostat.
Also became a
As an aside,
that right there,
still exists.
You saying that, Xander, and Adam's reaction to it just shows that I don't have any fucking clue what you two are talking about. You fucking, and I hate using this word, degenerate shitheads.
It tells me that me and Adam have probably interacted before me and you ever met. We just don't know
it. Yeah. But sorry, so the running gag was Bible Black. Oh, fly!
He jerked off to the point I jerked off to.
Jesus Christ!
Blood is thicker than water, but seed is thicker than blood.
Oh my god! Sorry. Okay, to explain my obsession with Bible Black as in a joke context, one of the running gags on the internet in the early 2000s till about 2008, 2009. This was in kind of the what we will call the before access era to a lot of Japanese content, before streaming sites like Crunchyroll and whatnot available. Not even that. So here's the kicker. A lot of times you'll go on forums and there will be usually well-meaning people who had discovered anime for the first time. Maybe they'd seen Bebop, maybe they'd seen Evangelion, maybe they saw Full Metal Alchemist on Adult Swim, or maybe if you're in the UK on Propeller, you watch Bleach and you're like, oh cool, I like more of this. Can someone recommend me an anime series I should check out next? And every single time, without fail, the joke was, you should check out Bible Black. It's got a really good storyline and some really good character designs. It's about demons in a school.
Yeah, but...
And that's why they leave it at. And the running gag was every single time somebody would mention it, and once in a while, some poor innocent person would go watch the Bible Black and then come back with, what the fuck?
So this was your era's Boku no Pico.
Basically,
No. Boku no Pico and this were running at the same time.
It's yeah, Boku no Pico were at the same time, but Boku no Pico was like an extreme version of the Skag. Like Bible Black was at least okay, ha ha ha.
Don't
funny.
watch
Boku
an
no
anime
Pico,
called Boku, the dog toy. Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is where my obsession with this gag comes from, because to me it is still the funniest thing is the reactions of people being like, let's check out anime, Bible Black.
It evokes my favorite saying: if you joke about it more than 3 times, it's your fetish.
Haha, robot girls sure are funny, right? Haha, I'm really entertained.
I sure do love furry bitches.
I don't know. I think mine will be more normalized than yours ever will be.
Well, yeah, because you can actually make a robot in real life. I can't make a human undergo some sort of metamorphosis a la Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
You can just make the robot with cat ears. It's the same thing.
True. Okay, maybe I will advocate for robosexuality after all if it gets me cat bitches.
It's just that you just put cat ears on the robot bitches. You did it. Done. Problem solved.
No, you gotta make
program that bitch to meow. I don't know.
You gotta make the whole bitch like anthropomorphized cat, motherfucker. I don't want just the ears. Give me the whole goddamn furry bitch.
Do not make me fucking find the one that I know will immediately address your needs. I already know in my brain.
Are you talking
the head that you're looking for?
You talking about the cat girl sex doll, the silicone one? That's like $2,500. I forget her name, but it's by like I forget what the company's called.
Elsa Babe.
But the inside, Elsa Babe.
Okay,
I remember
all right.
Like
No.
And one of them is literally it's funny.
And I'm the weirdo for knowing about the Bible Black UMD, apparently.
He is being very funny.
I'm ending this
it is actually stupid.
This is just a joke, like, fucking, like, I'm not talking about, like, having sex with a thing, okay? So, like, calm the fuck down. I'm not gonna talk about having sex with a goddamn sex doll and a thing that I published with my name on it.
Unless you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, okay, yeah, if you sponsor us, maybe. But fucking,
we'll do a review.
One of the inside textures, it's called Voice of Pussy, and I laughed my ass so fucking much at that one.
It's so bad.
And again, I'm the weirdo for knowing a Bible Black UMD for PlayStation 4.
We're not calling you a weirdo.
Anyway,
we're not calling you a weirdo. We're just calling you out.
I hate that.
These are two different things.
The only normal person on this podcast is Devon.
I disagree. It's me.
Air quotes.
Hey, Xander, can I ask you something?
Maybe.
What's your favorite thing to come out of a submarine, and why is it torpedo?
I'm not talking about the torpedo this episode. Don't worry.
You brought it up in DMs.
I haven't made the presentation. We'll get there one day.
Okay, we're all going to have to figure out a presentation and do a PowerPoint.
At one point, there will be a PowerPoint over the superhero, the torpedo, and you all will...
Oh, okay. I'll have to do Snowflame then.
Oh, jeez.
Fucking
or Detective Chimp, I don't know, one of them.
Devon brought him up in desperation earlier, but fucking Lazy Town memes are exploding again for some fucking reason.
I love you, Carl Stephenson.
And fucking now it's like the power scaling of Sporticus, and like fucking I have never watched Lazy Town, so I'm completely out of my depth in this. Everything's just cultural osmosis from this, but like fucking, and this all started for me when I saw this fucking comic of fucking Homelander being pissed that he wasn't invited to the group. And they invited Sporticus, and he's like, it's fucking bullshit.
No. Like if you take Homelander out of the boys, he's not very strong. To be completely fair and honest, he's only incredibly strong because no one else is in that entire fucking series.
It was like Goku, Omni-Man, Dio from part 3 of JoJo, and fucking Sporticus.
Oh, Sporticus is stronger. Yeah, no, I believe it.
and he's like, why is he here? And he's like, it's because eating healthy is extremely important. Why don't you read a fucking book?
Guys out here chugging milk.
And it made me realize that like every couple of years,
it's been off air for a long time.
Back up in the cultural zeitgeist. It's not even on air anymore,
it's been
right?
over years.
No.
And it just keeps coming back somehow. Like, how does it keep getting this fucking energy?
No, seriously, it's indicated. It's syndicated now.
What?
Syndication. It's on there. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that fucker's. I want to say it's on Nickelodeon still. Like that fucker ain't going away.
I haven't had a television in a decade, so I'm not familiar with
I don't have
what's on
TV
actual
either
TV.
because I'm a millennial, and does anybody under the age of 40 pay for cable anymore? Like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, no, the fuck is syndicated. I know that for a fact. I remember people talking about it because weirdly enough, to go full circle on something else I mentioned earlier, people noticed some of the performances of the guy playing Art the Clown in the Terrifier films happen to be very much visually. He's definitely referencing and definitely got his inspiration for his movement as choreography from the guy playing Robbie Rotten. Yeah, rest in peace.
Carl Stephenson.
For some of the antics he gets up to.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Robbie Rotten's movements are more or less just a fucking Monty Python Ministry of Silly Walks dialed up.
Xander's playing with his iPad again. Just...
This is not me calling it out. I'm saying that comedy is cyclical, and if it was funny the first time, just keep doing it.
Give us two of these so it does Xander.
I was hoping it would censor it out.
What about these?
I think that was the balloons.
Well, that way's peas. If you're British, this way is up yours.
Anyway, I still think it's really weird that it just keeps coming up out of nowhere. Like, the show has been off air for a long ass time. The last time it had a big boom was because of the We Are Number One memes and remixes, and
Well, there was the YouTube poops of it initially because you had weird puppets, and the Bake a Cake song.
Yeah.
Then you had the We Are Number. Like the fucked up part is that this seems to keep cycling organically. Like, we're not in forced meme territory. Yeah. It's just one dude decides, I want to make the funny song, and then everyone goes, I want to make the funny song.
It's like each time it fucking comes back up, it's not off the momentum of the previous time. It's completely separate and unrelated to the previous fucking time it blew up.
Like, now this time...
It is the weirdest fucking cycle of memes that I've ever, seen.
You have to appreciate the staying power. I can't think of other kid shows that have...
Now this time it's like...
Sesame
the first
Street
time, it was
like
the puppets and it was the Bake a Cake song. The second time it was Robbie Rotten with We Are Number One. This time now it's Sporticus. It's something...
Yeah. But it was the We Are Number One. Then it was... Well, no, there was a time between it, which is when Carl Stephenson got sick and revealed that he had cancer.
To help him.
And then the We Are Number One meme fucking revved up in extreme high gear, specifically to raise awareness and help him out.
Wasn't there some...
Now it's back with Sporticus.
It's also the fact that it actually had some genuinely funny bits. It's just like, have you ever heard the sound of a ball crashing through a window? No. Would you like to? And he kicks the ball through the fucking window. I'm like, that's actually kind of funny. Like, why is that funny?
Like, what the and the fact that he's so strained about it, like, would you like to?
I just remember for when We Are Number One got really popular. I forget who it was. Some sports team in Europe won a league, and that was what they were playing as they accepted their trophy. It's
just shit posting. It's great. It happens organically every time with this fucked up thing. No one, I don't get it. No one understands.
For whatever reason, it was We Are Number One, and they're being fucking shitheads. It was great.
Look, it's probably easier to license that than it is to license Queen. Let's be fair here.
Yes, we've done. He's been dead longer than I've been alive.
Mercury is
and
dead?
It's catchy. Yeah, I've known that for about my entire life because he hasn't been alive since we were born.
I'm not entertaining. No, I'm not entertaining this. I'm not entertaining this.
No, I'm No. See, he's right. I thought Rami Malek was him in the movie.
No, I thought the reason they were able to make that movie was because he signed.
Are you trying to segue into like
horrible fucking
the
movie?
bad like making fun of the Queen movie, or like what were you trying to accomplish here? Because like you say you didn't know Freddie Mercury was dead is complete and total bullshit. No, you're full of bullshit. No, you're full of shit. This is an awful bit. I'm not entertaining it.
About Queen.
It's been almost been an hour and a half. I'm cool calling the podcast here if you're gonna start that bullshit. I will call it right fucking here. Don't think I won't. This has been insert title here. Thank you for listening. Fuck you.
Man. He won't let me have any fun anymore. I didn't know Freddie Mercury was dead, and you can't stop me. I'm gonna bring him back to life so that way I don't have to think he's dead anymore.
Please do. Maybe he can write another song like Delilah where he writes it about his
You
cat.
can follow Devon on Blue Sky. It's in the links below. You can follow Adam on Blue Sky. It's in the links below. You can follow Flower on Blue Sky. It's in the links below. You can follow me on Blue Sky. It's in the links below. And you can follow Freddie Mercury on Blue Sky.
No, he's dead.
It's in the links below.
No, you can follow the official Queen account maybe on Blue Sky.
And you can follow the official Freddie Mercury account at freddiemercury.com/Blue Sky. BLUSKI. Put that in your web browser. It's not a virus. This has been Intertitle here. We love you all. We cherish you all. We are number one. We look at ourselves in the mirror while we think about you
This
all.
episode has been brought to you by the number one and by viewers like you.
It's also apparently been brought to you by Bible Black.
And the Bible, which usually has a black cover.
Speaking of the Bible, did you know